Clodsire, my new favorite Pokemon. As I'm sure you know, Clodsire is new in Pokemon Violet and Pokemon Scarlet, and it is so useful. Now, pay attention real quick right off the bat in this battle with Arven. The very first move that we do is going to be the most important move of this whole matchup. It's an epic matchup. Toxic Spikes. There you go. That will be a huge factor throughout this battle. Poison spikes scattered throughout the battlefield. Greedent hits me with Earthquake, and as you can see, we're under-leveled. 58 for Greedent and 53 for Clodsire. The way I went through this playthrough was a lot of exploration at first, a lot of enjoying the map and doing the raids and doing all kinds of cool stuff, and while you do that, you level up pretty quickly. And then as I got to the 7th, 8th gym badge, and as we got into the Titan adventures, then I just kind of went from mission to mission without the exploration, and I didn't level up as quickly. So here we are towards the end of the game, level 53, 5 levels behind a Greedent here. So we go with Toxic and we badly poison Greedent, and this is a long epic matchup, and Clodsire is down for the count just like that. And this is going to be just an epic grind of a Pokemon battle between myself and Arven here. So Greedent is badly poisoned, and so you can see the team here: Pawmot, Vaporeon, Dragonair, Meowscarada, and Flareon. The choices here are pretty good, but the highest level we have is Flareon. Caught this Flareon in the wild, but Flareon's defense stat is not great, so Meowscarada definitely the most powerful Pokemon that we have. So, you know, we go to the Lava Plume. Let's just try to attack this thing the best we can, and that was a terrible mistake on my part. Obviously, just a terrible noob mistake, because we already saw Greedent use its Earthquake, so the Earthquake move on Flareon, and goodbye, I'm already down 2-0, and this Greedent is just like taking care of me, like just ridiculous. Now, this is not the greatest team. The team got a little bit more balanced, but I am playing with my kid who is 5 years old, and it's also just entertainment for her, and I am somewhat of a Pokemon veteran. I am not a professional, but you know, there were a couple of Pokemon that I relegated to the box as we hit with the Flower Trick to send Greedent off in packing. But Vaporeon and Flareon, you know, she loves the evolutions, and so those two ended up on the team. You know, not my first choice for the team, but hey, it is a kid's game, and I am just still loving the playthrough. And you know, my Gastrodon, well, I'm sure I can train it up later, and my Talonflame, I can train it up later, but Flareon and Vaporeon did replace those two. So Greedent is out thanks to the Flower Trick. Scovillain gets poisoned. Now, that was because of the poison spikes, of course, earlier. So now we go with Dragonair, and I do have a video on the channel about how to find Dratini. Not really that crazy hard to find, but you can check out my channel and watch it. So we're gonna make it rain here with Dragonair. You catch those Dratinis out in the like Casserole Lake or whatever it's called, Casseroya Lake, and they're pretty high leveled, so you know, just a little bit of fun with Dratini, and it evolves into Dragonair. Now, of course, in my playthrough, it's a Dragonite, but with the rain here, we surf, and Scovillain doesn't take a ton of damage, but again, the poison from Clodsire, that's what makes this whole thing possible. So the crunch brings us deep into the red, and here comes the surf again. It's not going to be enough, but the poison makes it enough. Clodsire, thank you. Again, my new favorite Pokemon. Love that Clodsire. All right, are we going to switch? Garganacl. A lot of these Pokemon, I've never actually heard them said out loud, so, you know, just kind of going with it. Garganacl. I am not an expert on types of anything past Gen 1. You know, I'm a Gen 1er at heart, even though I've played other Pokemon games. But, you know, Sword and Shield and Let's Go Pikachu and Brilliant Diamond, like, just like the Nintendo Switch era is really when I've, you know, become like really deep back into Pokemon. So So yeah, I'm like kind of just guessing on types a lot of the way here. Gen 1, I got you with every single type. But I'm thinking that this is kind of like a rock type, and yeah, it is super effective. So this is going up 10 levels under leveled here. Vaporeon is a 52, and this Garganacl is a 62, but our Hydro Pump hits. That was huge, and Garganacl is in the red here, and so how are we going to finish it off here? The Pointed Stones are out on the field now as well, which is not ideal for my side. I'm already down 2, and a third Pokemon is in the red. Muddy Water, super effective. That was the safe move there, and we are moving right along. We do have 2 Pokemon fainted, and we do have 1 in the red, so we are not in the greatest situation. Dragonair has perhaps 1 move left, so this is going to get very arduous. This is going to get very tricky as the video goes on here. Honestly, I'm proud of it. It's not exactly a glamorous way to win a Pokemon battle, but you know, this is like JRPG experience coming into play here. So the way that I was able to manufacture a victory, I am very proud of. But we'll get into that soon. We're not quite there yet. So Toadscruel immediately poisoned again. Clodsire, you're our rock. We love you. You're fainted right now, but we'll take care of that later. Earth Power on Pawmot, and ouch. Pawmot toughs it out though, because Pawmot has been with us since the very beginning, and then I forget what move that was, but that was just like a boneheaded move. It doesn't affect Toadscruel, which again is just my lack of knowledge on types here with newer Pokemon. So hey, like, what do? We've got Pawmot on 1, we have Meowscarada and Vaporeon. Dragonair has 14 HP left, and Pawmot is just clinging to life here. Like, where do we go from here? How on earth am I going to get a victory out of this? Like, this is a really tough spot to be in. So we call back Pawmot, and like, okay, let's see what Vaporeon can do. The poison is the great equalizer here, even though I am super under-leveled. Like, you can go into Pokemon battles under-leveled in a lot of these trainer battles, even endgame status, but like 10 levels behind the 8 ball is no joke. So what do? All right, we're gonna go Max Potion, Dragonair, back to Max, but Power Whip, which is a grass type move, is going to defeat Vaporeon. Great. Again, like, Toadscruel we're just praying now that the poison will be able to take it out. So where do we go from here? We just did the Max Potion on Dragonair. Are we going back, or are we gonna go to Meowscarada so that can kind of negate the grass type move that you just saw? Pointed Stones, not too bad. And now, like, we're just gonna try to survive at this point. How are we going to survive when we do have the poison here on Toadscruel? So, I mean, it's just like pick one. Flareon. All right, Flareon, if we can somehow take the time to get it to full health, that would be great. But the poison move on Meowscarada knocks it out. It's just like mistake after mistake after mistake. I'm not paying attention to Toadscruel's moveset right now. I'm not paying attention to my types. I'm just like using items, just trying my best to keep field a team, you know, before Arven knocks me out. I'm not gonna lie, when I was doing this, I was like frustrated, and I was like, we're not gonna be successful, but I just keep on hanging on, and the use of items here, I think, was pretty impressive. So who do we go with? Our friend Clodsire that we found on like the first like route, you know, like one of the first parts of the beginning of the game. Now we have a sleeping Dragonair, and Toadscruel is just continuing to succumb to the poison. All right, and in the meantime, you've seen I was able to revive Clodsire, Flareon, and now I'm like, all right, Dragonair is sleeping, so I'm just gonna do my best to field a team now. So now Vaporeon is back. The Earth Power doesn't take out Dragonair, does some serious damage, but it doesn't take out Dragonair. And again, the poison on Toadscruel, like, that is that is my only chance here. So now what do? Do we revive or do we go for potion? All right, so we go hyper potion on Dragonair. It's able to withstand the attacks here from Toadscruel, so we're gonna try to just outlast Toadscruel. Earth power and potion. Earth power and potion. Dragonair wakes up. The shed skin is a very nice technique, a very good ability, I should say. And Toadscruel, poison. All right, what do we do? Like, it's not a glamorous way to win, but if we keep on putting potions on Dragonair and we allow the poison to do its thing, we will defeat this annoying but effective Toadscruel. And so that's exactly what we're trying to do. So here comes the Earth Power again, brings us down to 70, takes about half the HP. That last poison doesn't knock out the Toadscruel, and as you can see, 70 out of 140. That last Earth Power did half the damage on Dragonair, so we can't just do a move or heal someone else. We have to heal Dragonair because we don't want to risk it getting knocked out. So we get hit with the Spore here instead of the Earth Power, which I think is a little bit lucky because it keeps Dragonair's health up, and Toadscruel finally succumbs to the poison. Again, thank you to Clodsire for basically taking out Pokemon, you know, without even being involved. Got Pawmot wanting to learn agility. Just no time for that. I'm sorry. So here's Cloyster. What are we gonna do with Cloyster? Ideally, you would want Pawmot out there because of the Thunder Punch. It might not be Thunder Punch. It might be Discharge. At some point, we added Thunder Punch on there, but we'll check the moveset here. Cloyster comes out. Who's got the better speed here, though? That's a big question. And just another boneheaded mistake. Like, you can win under leveled, but I keep on shooting myself in the foot, forgetting about the pointed stones. So great. There goes Pawmot, but poisoning on Cloyster, and that's huge. The poison on Cloyster, as you can see, as you've already saw with the Toadscruel, the poison is what keeps us in the game here. All right, pointed stones affect Dragonair, doesn't do a ton of damage, 17 HP gone, and so what do? Do we wake it up? Do we revive someone else? Meowscarada, we're gonna try, instead of going the Thunder or the Electric attack on Cloyster. In the back of my head, I'm thinking like, all right, we'll keep Meowscarada in the game for the Grass attack. And now, again, just mistake after mistake. This is like the fourth or fifth big mistake. Dragonair against the Ice move. I should have guessed, or I should have known that this Cloyster would be equipped with some sort of Ice move. Ice defeats the Dragon type, and yep, goodbye to Dragonair. So let's put in the tank. The tank is back, the MVP of this run. I'm telling you, more videos I'm gonna do. As you can see, I'm in endgame here, and I actually did just defeat the Elite Four in my playthrough. So, you know, more videos coming out as I get a chance to make them. But this is the MVP of the team. It is Clodsire, by far. Been with me since the beginning, and it's just a fun, I don't know, it might not be fun for everybody, but it's a fun way for me to play, is to just poison everybody and try to outlast them. And of course, Clodsire being like special in this new generation of Pokemon, Violet and Scarlet, like, I like it. It just fits. It makes sense to me to use Clodsire. So yeah, no, another mistake here. Clodsire just doesn't do well against whatever attack type that was. Super effective, but it survived with 46 hit points. It's in the red, but that information, that knowledge has told me now, okay, it's going to survive the liquidation. It's super effective, but Clodsire will survive every time. And let's see how many max potions I have. Only 6 more. not fully prepared, rushing through this game a little bit, but what do? If you max potion every time and you let the poison do its thing, it's gonna be close, but that's our only kind of path to victory right now here against this Cloyster. Or do we risk the switch out? So here in my mind, I'm kind of like trying to do some math over like, do we use all the max potions? Because then where do we go from there? We know that there's a Mabosstiff waiting in the wings, and I'll talk about Mabosstiff more in a second, but it felt wrong attacking that Mabosstiff and poisoning that Mabosstiff. But here's liquidation, and here's the poison. I mean, what other options do we have at this point? It is such a grind here, but again, a win is a win. You know, this is an interesting style of play where you can win under leveled with potions and revives and Clodsire. All right, so we go with the max potion again, but at this point I'm worried about not having enough potion. We're able to survive all of these liquidations, but the defense falls after liquidation sometimes, whatever percentage that is. I'm sure somebody else would know, but that becomes problematic because look at that. Our defense is down by 1. The Stealth Rock is a good reminder of that. I do love this feature in the new Pokemon games where you can check all of the effects, but now that our defense on Clodsire is down by 1, that becomes problematic because the liquidation brings it into not quite the red, it brings it into that orange color. Now that the defense is down by 1, look at that. Clodsire has been defeated, and that is really problematic because Cloyster, even after this last poison, that was a pretty good chunk of poisoning right there. It's still in the orange, it's not even in the red yet, but when liquidation forces your defense to go down, like that is problematic. So like, what do? Do we go Vaporeon to try to neutralize the liquidation, which is the water attack, by sending in the water Pokemon? I mean, what option do we have left? We've got Pointed Stones, so 75 HP left, and notice how I go straight down into the bag, right? No chance of attacking here. Could Vaporeon outspeed Cloyster? Maybe, but with the level difference, like, that's way too risky. I don't know. I don't know the math on the speed of Vaporeon versus Cloyster. So we luck out here with Rock Blast. 2 hits, 3 hits, 4, and there's the 5th. All right, luck out might not have been the best term, but you know, we are surviving. And if we get another Rock Blast, we would be okay. Cloyster's now in the red. Vaporeon at 82 in the orange. We know that Mabosstiff is still coming, so like, how do we prepare for that and keep Vaporeon alive in order to wait out this Cloyster and let the poison do its thing? So we go Hyper Potion, saving those max potions. I hope you're noticing that little detail. And here comes the next Rock Blast. Again, maybe not luck, and look at that. It's daytime now, by the way. This battle has lasted all night. Yep, we pulled an all-nighter, me and Arven. 5 times on the Rock Blast, and we are just have a sliver of health left, so we've got 3 max potions. 6 super potions and 6 super potions doing nothing at this point in the game. That's just like leftovers. I do hope that I look down at that energy root and lemonade, because the energy root I feel like is basically a hyper potion. So I have a feeling that's what I'm gonna do. But coming up next is the Mabosstiff once we get rid of this Cloyster, once the Cloyster succumbs to the poison. And one of the fun story beats of this video game is just, you know, people love dogs, and so you really want to see that Mabosstiff heal. So we go max potion here, by the way, but we're going all the way down to Meowscarada. We're like going all in on our starter Pokemon, getting it prepared for the next battle. So it's like here we just sacrifice Vaporeon essentially to heal up Meowscarada, knowing that we can go just kind of like a one-on-one. This is the end of the line, Mabosstiff and Meowscarada. I believe that was my line of thinking here. But very cool that Vaporeon does survive the icicles, so that it gives me basically like a free turn here. So it'll be very interesting to see, like, okay, what do we do on this turn? It's basically a free turn. We have our Meowscarada that you hope you can go one-on-one against Mabosstiff, right? But with this free turn, do we heal up Vaporeon? Do we heal up somebody else? Like what is the most effective way to use this free turn basically with that 15 hit points left? And yeah, so throughout the story, that the Titans adventure here in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, like, I just love the idea of, like, we have to find those special herbs so that we can save Mabosstiff. We're gonna save it, like, in my videos on the channel, like, all caps, we're gonna save Mabosstiff. I love him. And now here we are trying to defeat him. So it felt a little bit weird, but it made for a great battle, you know? Like, it's just like a storyline thing that, like, kind of, you know, just makes you engaged in this, not just the gameplay but the story. So we go Max Potion on Vaporeon. I kind of regret that move. I almost want to I wish Flareon might have been the better choice to, like, you know, just see Vaporeon get knocked out and have Flareon come in fresh, which could then outspeed possibly Mabosstiff, even though Mabosstiff is super higher when it comes to level. But, you know, still got the win, so it is what it is. And the crunch on Vaporeon basically negates that Max Potion, but I still have, you know, a move here. So I still have that kind of free move that I was talking about earlier. So what do we do with it? Like, I think that using Vaporeon to do anything here is not really that useful. So, you know, do we revive someone? Do we hopefully outspeed with Flareon? Like, is it even worth it to heal Flareon, or do we revive somebody else so we can send in Flareon, try to get one attack off, and then use somebody else? But, like, again, I just used the Max Potion on Vaporeon. I'm like, why, dude? What is the point? It's like, looking back on it, that feels like a mistake, but then, you know, the goal was to just let the poison do its thing on Mabosstiff, but Vaporeon's defense was lowered on that last move, which I didn't really account for. So the next crunch defeats Vaporeon. So great, excellent. So just not the best play there, right? So it is a fun achievement. It is a really cool achievement to defeat Arven being this low in terms of level. But, you know, there are some mistakes that made it a lot closer than it should have been. So here we go. Back's kind of up against the wall here. Flareon and Meowscarada. And we go Flareon, and the goal here is to hit the Flare Blitz. You know, pointed stones still give me enough to survive, right? I can try to get this Flare Blitz off. Level 56 Flareon, but Mabosstiff is too fast. So the problem with being under-leveled here is, even with your speediest Pokemon, you think you can hang in there and get a move off, but, you know, even Mabosstiff, whose speed stat, like, overall is not going to be as good as Flareon. It's just the level differential is too hard to overcome. So this is it. This is the showdown. Mabosstiff and Meowscarada. Meowscarada down by 8 levels. Oh boy. Terrastalize time. My kid just calls it Terralize, so in my mind I'm just thinking, alright, we gotta Terralize here, but Terrastalize, a 5-year-old playing Pokemon says, Daddy Terralize, we have to. So here we go. Can we hang in there long enough to defeat this Mabosstiff? The Flower Trick, with the benefit of that Grass Terra type, brings Mabosstiff into the red. Play Rough is not enough to get us, and we get the win from the poisoning, just barely. Such an exciting matchup. The starter coming in at the end, saving the day, and Clodsire, my new favorite Pokemon, at the beginning, setting it all up with the poison spike. So I really hope you enjoyed like reliving this matchup with me. I really hope you consider using a Clodsire on your team, but this was a blast. Like, this battle was a really fun, long battle. It was a challenge, and I lucked out because there was some poor decision making thrown in there. But I hope you enjoyed checking out this battle. Hopefully it gives you some tips. Hopefully it gives you, some insight that might be useful for you when you play Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet. If you enjoy this content and you like this type of video, then subscribe, share, definitely like the video. My name is Ryudo Sky. Thank you for watching, folks, and we will see you next time.